I went to see my daughter on stage, but who was with her made me freeze. Amanda Johnson ran through the school hallways, her heart pounding from being late. The traffic had been terrible that Friday afternoon in New York City, and she had missed almost half of the Children's Day performance. Her hands trembled as she searched for an empty seat in the packed auditorium, eager to see her 5-year-old Lily perform on the school stage for the first time. It was when she got a clear view of the stage that her world came crashing down. There was Lily, radiant in her little black and yellow bee costume, tiny wings sparkling under the lights. But it wasn't her daughter's beauty that made her heart stop completely. It was the man in the dark suit who was gently holding the girl's hand, the man she believed had disappeared from their lives forever 3 years ago. Michael Reynolds, Lily's father, was there on stage, smiling as if nothing had happened, as if he hadn't left without explanation, leaving behind a pregnant and desperate woman. The audience applauded enthusiastically as the children performed their numbers, but Amanda felt her legs go weak, unable to process the scene before her. How had Michael managed to get close to Lily? How did he know about the performance? And more importantly, how had he gained the school's trust to the point of being there on stage, holding the hand of the daughter he had never known? Lily waved to the audience joyfully, and Amanda saw how the girl looked at Michael with genuine admiration. It was as if they had known each other for a long time. The child whispered something in his ear, and Michael smiled back, a smile Amanda knew very well, a smile she had loved and hated in equal measure. When the curtains closed and the applause died down, Amanda remained seated, paralyzed. Other mothers got up to fetch their children backstage, but she couldn't move. How was this possible? How had Michael found Lily? And why now, after so long? A familiar voice snapped her out of her trance. It was Mrs. Thompson, the school principal, a grey-haired lady who always had a warm smile for all the mothers. "Amanda, dear, did you see how well Lily did?" said Mrs. Thompson, approaching with a proud gleam in her eyes. "And how lucky she was to have found Mr. Michael to help her with the rehearsals. He's been a wonderful volunteer." "Volunteer?" Amanda managed to murmur, her voice coming out hoarse. "Yes. He offered to help children who don't have a father figure present. Such a dedicated man. He passed all our background checks." Lily was so scared of the stage she cried during rehearsals, but after he started helping her, she completely blossomed. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out, now continuing. Amanda felt the blood freeze in her veins. Background checks. Michael had deceived the school. How had he managed to pass any check using fake documents? "Mrs. Thompson, I need to speak with you urgently," said Amanda, standing up abruptly. The principal noticed the change in Amanda's tone of voice and expression. With the experience of someone who had dealt with worried parents for decades, she led Amanda to a more private corner of the auditorium. "What happened, my dear? You look pale." "That man, that Michael, he is not who you think he is," Amanda began, but the words came out jumbled. He is Lily's father, but he abandoned us 3 years ago. I do not give permission for him to be near my daughter." Mrs. Thompson looked at her with confusion, and then with growing concern. "But Amanda, his documents are all in order. He introduced himself as Michael Reynolds Taylor, said he was Lily's uncle, showed his ID, birth certificate, criminal background check, everything we require for volunteers. Never mentioned being the father." "Taylor?" Amanda repeated. Michael had changed his last name. That explained how he had passed through the checks. Reynolds Taylor wasn't the same as just Reynolds in the systems. At that moment, Lily came running from backstage, still dressed as a little bee, her face flushed with happiness. She ran straight into Amanda's arms, but her eyes were searching for Michael. "Mommy? Did you see? I didn't cry on stage. Uncle Mike taught me to take deep breaths when I get scared. He even knows my favorite lullaby." Lily spoke excitedly, not noticing the tension in the air. Amanda felt as if she'd been punched in the stomach. Lily's favorite lullaby was Little Fish, but not the traditional version. It was a version Michael used to sing to her when they were together. A version he had made up by changing some words. How did Lily know this? How did Michael know this was the little girl's favorite song? "Lily, sweetheart, who taught you that song?" Amanda asked, trying to keep her voice calm. Uncle Mike. He said it's a very special song, that only very special people know it. He sang it to me when I cried at rehearsal. Mommy, can I see Uncle Mike tomorrow? He promised to teach me how to make a paper butterfly. Each word from her daughter was like a stab to Amanda's heart. Michael was winning Lily over the same way he had won her over years ago, with small, caring gestures, with special attention, making the person feel unique in the world. Mrs. Thompson, sensing the seriousness of the situation, whispered to Amanda, "Let's go to my office. I need to understand this situation better." On the way to the principal's office, Amanda saw Michael waiting near the stage exit. He looked different, thinner, with some grey hairs he didn't have before, but he still had that elegant bearing that had always impressed her. When his eyes met hers, she saw something she didn't expect. It wasn't arrogance or defiance, but something that seemed like regret. Michael approached slowly, his hands in his pockets, clearly nervous. "Amanda," he said simply, his voice deeper than she remembered. "What are you doing here?" She managed to reply, even with a trembling voice. "I can explain everything," Michael said, glancing quickly at Lily, who was clinging to her mother's leg. "But maybe it's better if we talk in private." Lily looked from one adult to the other, noticing the tension in the air for the first time. Her little eyes filled with confusion. "Mommy, why are you mad at Uncle Mike? He's really nice." Mrs. Thompson intervened diplomatically. "Lily, how about you go play in the teacher's lounge? Aunt Jennifer is there and has some new drawings to color." After Lily left, escorted by an assistant, Mrs. Thompson looked sternly at Michael. "Mr. Reynolds, I need an explanation. Lily's mother told me you are the child's father and that you do not have permission to be near her." Michael took a deep breath before answering. "It's true that I am Lily's father, and it's true that I haven't had contact with them for 3 years, but it's not true that I didn't try." "Liar!" Amanda exploded. "You disappeared, Michael. Disappeared without a word, without answering messages, without taking calls. You left a woman 7 months pregnant, not knowing if you were alive or—" She stopped, realizing she was shouting. Mrs. Thompson gestured for them to lower their voices, reminding them there were still other families in the school. Michael took a paper folder from his jacket's inner pocket. "I know it's hard to believe, but I tried to get in touch. During these 3 years I sent letters, tried calling. I even hired a lawyer to try to establish legal contact." He extended some papers to Amanda, who took them with trembling hands. They were copies of letters addressed to her old apartment, all returned with stamps of addressee unknown. There were also bank deposit receipts for an account she didn't know about. "This doesn't prove anything," Amanda said, but her voice had lost some of its conviction. "You could have forged all of this." "The lawyer can confirm everything," Michael replied calmly. "Dr. Robert Anderson, from the firm Anderson & Associates in Greenwich Village. He has all the records of the contact attempts." Mrs. Thompson watched the tense exchange between the two, clearly uncomfortable with the situation. "Look, I understand you have personal matters to resolve, but my main concern is Lily's well-being." "Mr. Michael, even if your intentions were good, you should have been transparent about your identity." "I know, and I apologize for that," Michael said, addressing the principal. "But I knew that if I said I was the father, you would contact Amanda before even giving me a chance. I just wanted to meet my daughter, see how she was doing." "And how did you know she studied here?" Amanda asked, suspicious. Michael hesitated before answering. "Your sister, Rachel, she told me." Amanda felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. Rachel? Her own sister was in contact with Michael? The only person she completely trusted, the person who had comforted her during the most difficult months of the pregnancy, had betrayed her. "Rachel wouldn't do this to me," Amanda murmured, but even as she spoke, she began to doubt. "She didn't want me to look for you," Michael continued. "In fact, she made me promise I wouldn't try direct contact with you. She said you were doing well, that you had rebuilt your life, that it would be better if I didn't show up. But I needed to see Lily at least once." "And why now? Why after 3 years do you decide you want to meet your daughter?" The question came loaded with all the accumulated pain and anger. Michael lowered his eyes, and when he raised them again, Amanda saw tears he was trying to hold back. Because I almost lost the chance forever, he said, his voice cracking slightly. 6 months ago I had an accident. A serious accident. I was hospitalized for 2 months, and the doctors didn't know if I was going to recover completely. He stopped, discreetly wiping his eyes. When you're lying in a hospital bed thinking you might not see tomorrow, you rethink all your priorities. And I realized I had made the biggest mistake of my life by leaving you both. Amanda studied him, looking for signs of a lie, but something in his expression seemed genuine. She now noticed a small scar on his forehead that wasn't there before, and the way he slightly favored his right leg when standing. "What was the accident?" she asked, almost against her will. "Car accident. I was coming back from a business trip. It was early morning, it was raining." Michael shook his head. "The details don't matter. What matters is that when I woke up in the hospital, the first thing I thought of was Lily, the daughter I never met, who doesn't even know I exist." "She doesn't know," Amanda confirmed coldly, "because you chose not to exist in her life." "I know I deserved that," Michael said, "and I know I have no right to show up now and expect everything to be easy. But Amanda, please at least let me explain why I left." Mrs. Thompson, who had remained silent during the exchange, finally intervened. "Look, you clearly have a lot to talk about, but it can't be here and now. We have other families at the school, other children. I suggest you schedule a conversation somewhere else and at another time." "I just want what's best for Lily," Amanda said, the anger giving way to deep exhaustion. "I do too," Michael answered. "And maybe it's best for her to get to know her father." At that moment, Lily came running back from the teacher's lounge carrying a colorful drawing. "Look, Mommy, I drew a family of bees," she said, proudly showing the paper. "The mommy bee, the baby bee, and—" She stopped, looking at Michael. "And a daddy bee, too." The silence that followed was deafening. Lily had unconsciously drawn exactly the situation they were in. A fragmented family, but with all the pieces there, in the same room. Michael crouched down to Lily's level, his eyes shining. "It's a very beautiful drawing, Lily." "Thank you, Uncle Mike. Will you be at the next presentation too?" Michael looked at Amanda, a silent question in his eyes. Amanda felt the weight of the whole situation. Her daughter was clearly attached to Michael. She seemed happy with his presence, but she still had so many doubts, so many unhealed wounds. "We'll talk about it, sweetheart," Amanda said to Lily, trying to keep her voice steady. "Okay, Mommy," Lily answered, apparently satisfied with the answer. Mrs. Thompson looked at her watch. "Well, it's getting late, and we need to close the school. I suggest you continue this conversation another time, but always thinking of Lily's well-being." Michael took a business card out of his pocket and handed it to Amanda. "My current number. If you want to talk, or if you want me to disappear forever, I'll respect your decision." Amanda took the card, avoiding touching his hand. The card was simple, with the name Michael Reynolds Taylor and a phone number. "Where were you working that required so much travel?" she asked suddenly. "Engineering consulting. I traveled around the countryside setting up drinking water systems for small towns. That's why it was hard to keep in touch, but I know that's no excuse." They left the school in silence, Lily walking between the two adults, unaware of the tension. In the parking lot, Michael stopped next to a used Camry, very different from the new car he drove when they were together. "I've changed a lot in my life, Amanda," he said, more to himself than to her. Amanda put Lily in the car seat of her own car, also used but well-maintained. Before getting in, she looked at Michael one last time. "I need to think, I need to process all this." "I understand. And Amanda, thank you for letting me see Lily today, even though you didn't know." She didn't answer, just got in the car. Through the rearview mirror, she saw Michael standing in the parking lot until they were out of sight. On the way home, Lily chatted about the presentation, about how much fun she had, about how Uncle Mike was so cool. Every word increased Amanda's anguish. Her daughter was clearly enchanted with Michael, and that was both wonderful and terrifying. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. Arriving home, a small two-bedroom apartment in the Chinatown neighborhood that she had managed to get with great effort, Amanda got Lily ready for a bath while trying to organize her thoughts. The returned letters, the bank deposits, the name change, the accident. Could it all be true? She picked up the phone and dialed her sister's number. Rachel answered on the third ring. "Hi, Mandy. How was Lily's presentation?" "Rachel, I need you to be honest with me. Are you in contact with Michael?" The silence on the other end of the line was answer enough. "Mandy, I can explain." "How long?" Amanda asked, her voice too controlled. "For about a year," Rachel admitted. "He reached out to me through Facebook, said he wanted news about you two, that he had tried to get in touch but you had moved, and you didn't think you should tell me. I thought it would be better not to stir up the past. You were doing well, you had moved on, you were raising Lily all by yourself with so much love. Why open old wounds?" Amanda felt a cold anger rising in her chest. "Because it wasn't your decision to make, Rachel. Because Lily has a right to know her father, and I have a right to know that he was looking for us. Mom, I'm sorry, I just wanted to protect you. You suffered so much when he disappeared. And you thought lying to me was the solution? You told him about Lily's school, didn't you? He just wanted to know if she was okay, if she was studying. I never imagined he would show up there." Amanda hung up the phone without saying goodbye. She felt betrayed by her own sister, the person she trusted most in the world. How could Jennifer have made this decision alone? How could she have chosen to keep secrets that directly affected the lives of Amanda and Lily? Lily appeared in the living room in her pajamas, her hair still damp. "Mommy, can I call Grandma Patricia to tell her about the performance?" Grandma Patricia was Amanda's mother, who lived in San Diego and visited her granddaughters whenever she could. Maybe she could help Amanda think clearly. "Of course, sweetheart. But first, let's have dinner." During the simple dinner of rice, beans, and chicken, Lily kept talking about Michael. "Mommy, Uncle Mike said that when he was little, he was also afraid of speaking in public. He said we get over it when we find something we love more than fear." "And what do you love more than fear?" Amanda asked, curious. "Making you happy," Lily answered with the simplicity of children. "Uncle Mike said that when we want to make someone we love happy, we become brave." Amanda felt her eyes fill with tears. Her 5-year-old daughter already understood love and courage better than many adults. After Lily fell asleep, Amanda stayed in the small living room looking at Michael's card. Should she call? Should she ignore it? Should she contact the lawyer he had mentioned? She decided to do some research on the internet. She looked up Dr. Robert Anderson and found his firm's website. It seemed legitimate. She searched for Michael Reynolds Taylor and found some professional references, limited social media profiles. Nothing that indicated a lie, but also nothing that completely confirmed his story. At 11 at night, she finally gathered the courage to call. Michael answered on the first ring, as if he had been waiting. "Amanda? Why did you disappear?" she asked, straight to the point. 3 years ago, why did you just vanish?" Michael was silent for a long moment. "Can I meet you in person to talk about this? Some things are hard to explain over the phone." "Michael, I just want the truth. Lily was sleeping when you left. I was 7 months pregnant. Everything was fine between us. The next day you weren't answering calls. Your things were gone from the apartment. Your job said you had quit. What happened?" "I panicked," he admitted, his voice low. "I know it's a terrible excuse, but it's the truth. When I realized that in 2 months I would be a father, that I would have such a huge responsibility, I completely panicked. But we talked about it, Michael. You seemed happy about the pregnancy. I was happy, but I was also terrified. And when the panic became greater than the happiness, I ran. It was the most cowardly and stupid decision of my life." Amanda held the phone tightly, conflicting emotions battling inside her. "You can't just show up 3 years later and expect me to understand. I know, and I don't expect you to. But Amanda, I've changed. The accident made me see things differently. I went to therapy, worked on myself, tried to become a better person. Therapy, 2 years of therapy, twice a week. I still go. I understood that I had problems with commitment, with responsibility, that came from my own upbringing. My father also abandoned my mother when I was a child. This information was new to Amanda. During the time they were together, Michael had spoken little about his family. "I don't want Lily to go through what I went through," he continued. "I don't want her to grow up wondering where her father is, why he doesn't love her." "But you abandoned her, Michael. You did exactly what your father did to you." "I know, and that awareness haunts me every day. But now I want to try to fix this if you'll let me." Amanda looked into the room where Lily slept, breathing peacefully, unaware of the complexity of the adult world. "She's starting to ask questions about her father," Amanda admitted. "The other kids at school have dads, and she sometimes asks where hers is." "And what do you tell her? That not all families are the same, that some have just mommy, others just daddy, others have both. But I see that she isn't completely satisfied with the answer. Amanda, I know I don't deserve a second chance, but Lily deserves to have a father, and I want to be that father. I want to be present. I want to help with everything. I want to make up for the lost time." "You can't make up for 3 lost years, Michael. I know I can't, but I can try to make the next 3 years and the next 15 different." Amanda sighed, the emotional exhaustion finally weighing on her. "I need to think, and I need to talk to Lily, explain who you are. Of course, do you want me to stay away until you decide?" "I don't know yet. Let me process all of this first." "Okay. But Amanda, thank you for listening to me." After they hung up, Amanda stayed awake until the late hours, reliving memories, weighing options, trying to imagine how it would be to explain to Lily that Uncle Mike was actually her father. On Saturday morning, Lily woke up excited. "Mummy, can I call Uncle Mike? I want to show him the new drawing I made." "Lily, Mummy needs to talk to you about something important," Amanda said, sitting on the bed next to her daughter. "About what?" "About Uncle Mike. He isn't exactly an uncle." Lily looked at her with curiosity. "What do you mean?" "He is your daddy, Lily. Your real father." The girl was silent for a moment, processing the information. "My daddy? The daddy I never knew?" "Yes, sweetheart." "But why did he introduce himself as an uncle?" Amanda chose her words carefully. "Because he went away when you were just a tiny baby, and he stayed away for a long time. Now he's back and wants to get to know you better." "Did he go away because he didn't like me?" The question broke Amanda's heart. "No, sweetheart, it wasn't because of that. He went away because he was confused, but it wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. And now he wants to stay? He says he does. But Mommy is still deciding if that's a good idea." Lily was thoughtful for a moment. "I liked him, Mommy. He's nice to me." "I know, sweetheart, but these are complicated adult decisions. Can I see him again?" Amanda looked at her daughter, seeing the hope in her little eyes, and felt the weight of the responsibility of making the right decision. "Maybe. Let Mommy think a little more, okay?" Lily agreed, but Amanda could see that the girl was anxious. Over the weekend, Amanda talked to her mother on the phone, explaining the whole situation. Grandma Patricia, with the wisdom of her 70 years, listened to everything patiently before giving her opinion. "Honey, I know you're angry, and you have a right to be. But think about Lily. She deserves to know her father, even if he is an imperfect father. But Mom, what if he disappears again? And if he hurts Lily like he hurt me? And if he doesn't disappear? And if he really changed? Nana, you can't make decisions based only on fear." "I'm so scared, Mom." "I know, dear, but sometimes we need to take risks to give something good a chance to happen." On Monday, Amanda called the lawyer Michael had mentioned. Dr. Robert Anderson confirmed the whole story. The attempts to contact the bank deposits, the returned letters. Everything was true. In the afternoon, she called Michael. "We can meet to talk, just the two of us without Lily." "Of course, wherever you want." "In Central Park, near the lake, at 7 in the evening. Lily will stay with my mother." "I'll be there." Amanda arrived at the park a few minutes late, seeing Michael sitting on a bench watching the ducks in the lake. He was indeed thinner, she noticed. and there was a sadness in his posture that wasn't there before. "Thank you for coming," he said when she approached. "I need answers, Michael. Real answers." They walked slowly around the lake while Michael told his version of the facts, how he had panicked with the approach of Lily's birth, how he had accepted a job in another state without thinking about the consequences, how he had regretted it immediately but didn't know how to go back. "I was young and immature, Amanda. I was 25 and had never taken on such a big responsibility. When I saw that you were counting on me to be a father, to be a partner, to be an adult, I collapsed. You could have talked to me. We could have worked through it together." "I know. But I was so afraid of disappointing you, of not being a good father, that I ended up doing the worst possible thing." "And now? Why is it different now?" Michael stopped walking and looked at her. "Because I grew up. Because I went to therapy. Because I understood that running away from problems doesn't solve them, and because almost losing my life made me realize what really matters. How do I know you won't run away again when things get tough?" "You don't," he admitted. "I can only show you through my actions, day after day, month after month." Amanda studied him, looking for signs of sincerity, of real change. "Lily liked you, a lot." "She's amazing, Amanda. You did a wonderful job raising her. And what exactly do you want? Supervised visits, weekends?" "I want to be part of her life, in whatever way you allow, at whatever pace you think is right. I'm not here to complicate your life. I'm here to try to improve Lily's life." "And what about the two of us?" The question came out before Amanda could think twice. Michael looked at her surprised. "The two of us?" "I'm not talking about romance, Michael. I'm talking about how we're going to manage to raise Lily together if we can barely have a civil conversation. We'll learn. We'll start slow, with supervised visits if you want. We'll build trust little by little." They continued walking in silence for a few minutes. Amanda felt torn between the anger of abandonment and the hope that Lily could have a more complete family. "I want to start with meetings here in the park on weekends. You spend 2 hours with her, but I stay nearby." "All right. And if at any point I think this isn't good for Lily, I cut off contact." "Understood. And I want full transparency. Where you live, where you work, how your financial life is. If you're going to be Lily's father, I need to know you're stable." Michael agreed to everything. They scheduled the first meeting for the following Saturday. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. On Saturday, Lily was excited since early morning. She had chosen her favorite dress, the blue one with little flowers, and had made 2 drawings during the week to show Michael. At the park, Michael showed up right on time with a small ball and a children's storybook. Lily ran to him as if they were old friends. "Daddy Mike!" she shouted, and Amanda felt a pang in her heart. The ease with which Lily had accepted that he was her father was both touching and concerning. Michael knelt down to be at the girl's level, his eyes shining with emotion. "Hi, Lily. I brought a ball for us to play with and a book with really cool stories." "What kind of stories?" "Stories about butterflies, about brave children, about families who find each other again." Amanda watched from a distance as they played. Michael was careful, attentive, and clearly trying very hard. Lily laughed, ran around, and seemed genuinely happy. During the reading of the book, under a tree, Amanda heard Lily ask a question that made her break into a cold sweat. "Daddy Mike, why were you away from me for so long?" Michael looked at Amanda, who nodded, indicating he should answer. "Because I made a very bad choice, Lily. When you were a little baby, I was afraid I wouldn't be a good daddy, so I ran away. It was a very wrong thing to do." "But aren't you scared anymore?" "I still get scared sometimes, but now I know that running away doesn't solve anything, and I really want to be a good daddy for you." "And are you going to stay now?" "If your mommy allows it, and if you want me to, I want to stay forever." Lily looked at Amanda, who was sitting on a nearby bench. "Mommy, can Daddy Mike stay?" Amanda approached, feeling the weight of the question. "We'll see, sweetheart." These things take time, but Lily seemed satisfied with the answer. She took Michael's hand and Amanda's hand, trying to bring them together. There, now we're a family. The child's simplicity made both Michael and Amanda laugh, but it also created a moment of tension. Their hands touched briefly before Amanda pulled away. The meetings at the park became a routine. Every Saturday from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, Michael spent time with Lily. Amanda began to relax a little, seeing that he was consistent, that he always showed up, that he treated Lily with genuine affection. In the 3rd week, Lily asked if she could visit her daddy's house. "Where do you live?" she asked Michael. "I live in a tiny apartment near here. It has a balcony where I grow little tomatoes." "Can I see the little tomatoes?" Michael looked at Amanda, who wasn't ready yet to let Lily go to his house alone. "How about I go along?" Amanda suggested, surprising herself. "Of course," Michael replied quickly. Michael's apartment was simple but clean and organized. 1 bedroom, a small living room, an open kitchen, and a balcony where he actually grew cherry tomatoes and some herbs. There were few pieces of furniture, but the ones he had were well cared for. Lily was delighted with the little tomatoes, and Michael taught her how to water the plants. Amanda observed the interaction, noticing how patient and educational he was. "It's very different from where you lived before," Amanda commented. "I've changed my life a lot," Michael replied. "Before I cared about things that didn't matter. Now I prefer simplicity." "And work? Where are you working?" "At a small consulting firm here in New York City. I don't travel anymore. The pay is less, but I'm close to you." "You left the job that made you travel because of us?" "I left because of Lily," he corrected. "I want to be present in her life." During the following weeks, Michael proved his consistency. He always showed up at the agreed times, called when he said he would call, kept every promise he made to Lily. Amanda slowly began to let her guard down. It was then that she received a phone call that changed everything. It was Mrs. Thompson from the school, on a Sunday evening. "Amanda, I'm sorry to call on a Sunday, but I need to tell you something important. This morning, a man showed up at the school asking about Lily and Michael." Amanda's heart raced. "What kind of man?" "An older man. He said he was a private investigator. He wanted to know how long Michael had been doing volunteer work, if he had contact with other children besides Lily." "Private investigator? Investigating what?" "He didn't want to give details, but Amanda, I got worried. Could there be something about Michael's past that you don't know?" Amanda hung up the phone with trembling hands. What kind of past was Michael hiding? Why would a private investigator be interested in him? She spent the whole night awake, imagining the worst scenarios. On Monday morning, she called Michael. "We need to talk urgently." "Did something happen?" "A private investigator showed up at Lily's school asking about you." "What haven't you told me, Michael?" The silence on the other end of the line lasted too long. "Michael? I can explain. Can we meet?" "Now." They met at a diner near Lily's school. Michael was visibly nervous, constantly fidgeting with his coffee cup. "There are some things about my past that I didn't tell you," he began. "What kind of things?" "When I ran away from you and Lily, I got involved with the wrong crowd. I was lost, drinking too much, making terrible decisions." Amanda felt her stomach drop. "What kind of wrong crowd?" "A group that ran illegal gambling, sports betting mostly. I started by betting to try to forget my problems, then I started working for them." "Michael, are you telling me you got involved with organized crime?" "It wasn't exactly organized crime, it was more like a betting ring. But yes, it was illegal, and when I tried to get out, they didn't like it." "Is that why the private investigator?" "Probably. They must be trying to locate me. I owe these people money." Amanda got up from the table, furious. "You brought danger close to my daughter. How could you hide something like this?" "Amanda, that was over a year ago. I paid off most of the debts. I changed my name. I changed my life." "Changed your name? Is that why Reynolds Taylor?" "Yes. It was the only way to protect myself." "And you think that protects us? Do you think if they find you, they won't find out about us?" "They have no interest in you. The problem is only with me." "Michael, you're being naive. If these people are as dangerous as you say, they could use Lily or me to get to you." The reality of the situation hit Amanda like a slap. She had allowed a man with criminal connections to get close to her daughter. She had put Lily in danger. "I can't let you see Lily ever again," she said, her voice trembling with anger. "Amanda, please." "No. It's over, Michael. You lied to me. You hid important things. You brought danger close to my daughter. I can't trust you. I can fix this. I can look for these people, pay off the rest of the debt. With what money? You said you earn less now." "I'll figure it out. I can get a loan. I can—" "Michael, you don't understand. The problem isn't just the money. It's that you lied. It's that you withheld important information. How can I trust you to take care of Lily if you can't even be honest with me?" Michael lowered his head, knowing she was right. "I just wanted a chance to be her father." "And you had that chance. You were earning my trust. Lily was happy and you threw it all away by not being honest." Amanda left the diner, leaving Michael sitting alone. On the way home, she cried out of anger, disappointment and fear. How had she been so naive? At home, she hugged Lily tightly, silently grateful that nothing bad had happened. "Mommy, when will I see Daddy Mike again?" Lily asked. "You won't see him anymore, sweetheart. Daddy Mike had to travel very far away. But he promised he would stay." "Sometimes people can't keep their promises, Lily." The little girl started crying, and Amanda's heart broke. Lily had grown attached to Michael, had built dreams of having a present father, and now everything was destroyed again. During the next few weeks, Lily constantly asked about Michael. She stopped eating properly, started having nightmares, and at school the teacher reported she was more withdrawn. Amanda felt guilty for allowing Lily to get close to Michael, but she also knew she had made the right decision, cutting off contact. Her daughter's safety was more important than anything else. 1 month after the incident, Amanda was at work when she received a call from an unknown number. "Hello? Amanda, it's Michael. Please don't hang up." "Michael, I don't want to talk to you. I fixed everything. I paid all the debts, got rid of all the problems. I can prove it." "That doesn't change the fact that you lied." "I know, and I understand why you don't trust me anymore. But Amanda, for God's sake, think about Lily. She was happy with me, and now she's suffering." "How do you know how Lily is?" I see her sometimes, from afar, at school pickup. She looks sad, Amanda." "Are you stalking my daughter?" "No. I just wanted to make sure she was okay. And she clearly isn't." Amanda knew he was right. Lily really wasn't okay. The little girl had regressed in many ways, started wetting the bed again, was more clingy, more tearful. "Michael, I can't risk her safety. I can prove there's no more risk. I can show payment receipts. I can take you to talk to the people involved. They'll confirm they have no more issues with me. You want me to trust the word of criminals? Amanda, is Lily asking for me?" The question hit hard. Lily asked about her father every day. "That's none of your business." "She's my daughter too, Amanda. I know I made terrible mistakes, but she is my daughter." "Then you should have thought of that before omitting important information." "You're right. I should have. But now I just want to fix things. For Lily's sake." Amanda hung up, but Michael's words kept echoing in her mind. Lily really was suffering. The little girl had lost her appetite, lost interest in playing, and cried every night asking for Daddy Mike. That night, while putting Lily to sleep, the little girl asked a question that broke Amanda's heart. "Mommy, was it because I was a bad girl that Daddy Mike left?" "No, sweetheart, you did nothing wrong. Daddy Mike had to solve adult problems." "But if I were a better girl, would he come back?" Amanda hugged her daughter, feeling the weight of the situation. Lily was blaming herself for her father's absence, exactly what Amanda had tried to avoid. The next day, she called the child psychologist she had consulted months before. "Dr. Sarah, I need an urgent appointment about my daughter." "Of course, Amanda. What's happening?" Amanda explained the whole situation, Michael's reappearance, the meetings, the emotional bond Lily had developed, the problem with his past, and the abrupt cut-off of contact. "Amanda, you did the right thing protecting Lily from danger," said Dr. Sarah. But you need to understand that for a 5-year-old, the second loss of her father can be even more traumatic than the first. The first time she was a baby and didn't understand. Now she understands. She got attached and lost him again. But I couldn't put her at risk. Of course not. But now that the man says he's resolved the problems, it might be worth checking if that's true. For Lily. And if he's lying, then you cut off contact for good. But if he's telling the truth and you don't give him this chance, Lily might carry this trauma for the rest of her life. What do you advise me to do? Investigate. Check if he really has resolved the problems. If it's confirmed that he has, consider giving him a second chance, but this time with even stricter rules. Amanda Johnson spent the weekend thinking about the conversation with the psychologist. Lily had cried once again, asking for her father, and Amanda began to consider that maybe she was being unfair. Maybe Michael really had resolved the problems. On Monday, she called Dr. Robert Anderson, Michael's lawyer. Dr. Robert, I need you to help me verify if Michael really has resolved the problems he had with people involved in illegal gambling. I can do that verification for you, Amanda. In fact, Michael asked me to prepare complete documentation proving that all outstanding issues were resolved. Is that possible? Yes. We have payment receipts, a settlement agreement signed by both parties, and even a document from the lawyer representing the other party confirming that there are no more problems. And is that reliable? It's as reliable as any legal document can be. Of course, I can't guarantee 100% that these people will never look for Michael again, but from a legal standpoint, he has no more outstanding issues. Can I see these documents? Of course. Michael authorized full transparency with you. The next day, Amanda went to Dr. Robert's office and examined all the documents. Bank receipts showing transfers of significant amounts, a settlement agreement signed and notarized, and a letter from the other party's lawyer confirming that there were no more outstanding issues. It all seemed legitimate, but Amanda still had doubts. Dr. Robert, how did Michael get the money to pay these debts? He sold an apartment he had kept as an investment, sold the car, used all the savings he had. Basically, he got rid of everything to pay off the debts. And now what is his financial situation? Precarious, to be honest. He's practically starting from scratch, but free of debts and legal problems. The information left Amanda thoughtful. Michael had sacrificed everything to resolve the problems he had created. That showed, at least, seriousness in his attempt to change. Can I speak with the other party's lawyer? I can check if he's willing to talk to you. 2 days later, Amanda spoke on the phone with Dr. William Parker, the lawyer who had represented the people Michael had problems with. Ms. Amanda, I can confirm that Mr. Michael has fully settled all outstanding issues with my clients. They have no further interest in him. What about the private investigator who showed up at the school? That was before the settlement. My clients were trying to locate him to collect the debt. Now that it's paid off, they have no reason to look for him. Are you sure about that? Ma'am, from a legal standpoint, I can guarantee it. My clients signed an agreement committing to no longer bother Mr. Michael. And if they break this agreement, they will be subject to legal action. And frankly, now that they've received their money, they have no interest in causing trouble. Amanda hung up the phone feeling slightly more at ease, but still full of doubts. Even if Michael had resolved the legal problems, he had lied to her. How could she trust him again? That night, Lily had another nightmare and woke up crying. "Mommy, I dreamed that Daddy Mike was in jail and couldn't see me anymore." Amanda hugged her daughter, realizing the situation was affecting Lily more than she had imagined. "It was just a dream, sweetheart." "Mommy, is Daddy Mike ever coming back?" The simple question carried so much weight. Amanda looked at her daughter, seeing the hope mixed with sadness in her little eyes. "I don't know, Lily. It's complicated. But can you ask him?" "Ask him what?" "If he wants to come back. If he still likes me." Amanda's heart tightened. How to explain to a 5-year-old the complexity of the situation? "Lily, Daddy Mike likes you very much. That never changed. Then why doesn't he come to see me?" "Because he did some wrong things, and Mommy needs to make sure you two will be safe." "But if he doesn't do wrong things anymore, can he come back?" The child's simple logic was irrefutable. If Michael had truly corrected his mistakes, what was the reason to keep him away? Maybe, sweetheart, let Mommy think. The next morning, Amanda made a decision. She would give Michael one last chance, but this time with much stricter conditions. She called him. Michael, I checked everything, the documents, the settlements, I talked to the lawyers. And so? You really solved the legal problems. But that doesn't erase the fact that you lied to me. I know, and I'm sorry for that. Michael, I'm going to give you one last chance, one single last chance, but it will be on my terms, with my rules. Anything you want. First, total transparency, about everything. Work, money, where you live, who you talk to. I want to know everything that happens in your life. I agree. Second, you will go to therapy. Not just to resolve commitment issues, but to learn to always be honest. I already go to therapy, but I can increase the frequency. Third, the meetings with Lily will be gradual. We start with 1 hour a week in the park with me present. If everything goes well for a month, we increase to 2 hours. If it goes well for 3 months, maybe you can take her somewhere alone. Understood. Fourth, you will be tested. I will create situations to see how you react, if you are honest, if you have really changed. All right? And fifth, at the first lie, at the first sign that you are hiding something, I cut off contact forever. And this time, it will be final. Amanda, I won't let you down again. We'll see about that. They arranged the first meeting for the following Saturday. Amanda spent the week preparing Lily, explaining that Daddy had solved his problems and was going to see her again. But is he going to stay this time? Lily asked. If he behaves well and does the right things, yes. And if he doesn't behave well, then he will have to leave again. I will behave well too, so he doesn't have to leave. Lily's response made Amanda realize how the girl was taking responsibility for the father's presence or absence. She needed to make it clear that this did not depend on Lily's behavior. Sweetheart, if Daddy Mike has to leave, it won't be your fault. It will be because of choices he makes. You are a very good girl and nothing you do will make him leave. On Saturday, Michael arrived at the park with a nervous expression. He brought a small gift for Lily, a book about bees, referencing the costume she wore at the presentation where they had reunited. Lily ran to him, but this time with more hesitation. The absence of a few weeks had created a distance that didn't exist before. Hi, Daddy Mike, she said, a little shyly. Hi, Lily. I missed you so much. Did you leave because I did something wrong? Michael knelt down to her level, his eyes full of emotion. No, Lily. You never did anything wrong. I had to solve some adult problems, but it was never your fault. And now you've solved your problems? Yes, I have. And now I want to be close to you if you want me to. I do want that, Lily answered and hugged her father. Amanda observed the scene, feeling a mixture of hope and apprehension. Michael seemed genuine, but she had thought that before too. During the hour they spent together, Michael was careful, attentive, and respectful of the boundaries Amanda had set. He played with Lily, read the book about bees, and when it was time to leave, he said goodbye affectionately but without any drama. I'll see you next week, Lily. Promise? I promise. After a few weeks of regular meetings, Amanda began the first test she had promised. She pretended to receive an urgent work call during their meeting in the park. Michael, I need to go handle something at the office. Can you stay with Lily for another half hour? I'll be right back. It was a test to see if he would be honest about any insecurities, if he would ask for help if needed, if he would take responsibility properly. Michael hesitated for a moment. Amanda, to be honest, I'm a little nervous about being alone with her still. Not that I don't want to, but I don't know if I'm prepared for an emergency if she gets hurt or something. The honesty surprised Amanda. The old Michael would have pretended to be confident to impress her. Do you want me to stay? She asked. If you can, I would feel safer. I'm still learning how to be a father. Amanda cancelled the fake emergency, impressed with Michael's honest response. The next month, she created another test. She asked Michael to pick up Lily from school on a day she was busy, but arrived before them to observe from a distance. Michael arrived at the school punctually, spoke politely with the teacher, helped Lily put away her materials, and followed exactly the instructions Amanda had given about the route home. He didn't try to impose his will or take Lily anywhere else. Gradually, Amanda began to trust more. Michael was keeping all his promises, being transparent about everything, and Lily was visibly happier. 3 months after the fresh start, Amanda allowed Michael to take Lily alone to a nearby park for 2 hours. Lily came back beaming, talking about how they had fed the ducks and how her father had taught her to make a paper kite. "Mommy, Daddy Mike said he's going to teach me how to ride a bike." "Oh, really? And what else did you talk about?" "He said he's very happy to be with me again and that he's never leaving again." "And do you believe him?" "I think so. He seems different than before." Lily's observation surprised Amanda. Even though she was a child, she had noticed changes in her father's behavior. 6 months after the fresh start, Michael proved his reliability in an unexpected way. Lily had a high fever on a Thursday night, and Amanda, desperate because her pediatrician wasn't available, called Michael. "Michael, I know it's not your day to be with Lily, but she has a very high fever, and my doctor isn't answering. Do you know any pediatricians?" "Yes, I do, Dr. David. He's very good. Do you want me to call him?" "Please." Michael not only called the doctor, but offered to meet Amanda at the office to give moral support. He stayed in the waiting room during the appointment, helped carry Lily when she was sleepy from the medicine, and offered to be on call if Amanda needed help during the night. "You don't have to do this, Michael. I want to do it. She's my daughter too." That night, Michael slept on the sofa in Amanda's apartment to help take care of Lily. It was the first time in years that they had shared the same space, and despite the initial tension, it worked out well. Michael got up during the night to check Lily's fever, brought water when she asked, and helped Amanda change the sheets when Lily sweated a lot. "Thank you," Amanda said in the morning, when Lily was already better. "No need to thank me. It's what any father would do." "Not every father would do that, Michael." "Well, then it's what I should have done from the start." That experience marked a turning point in their relationship. Amanda began to see Michael not just as the man who had abandoned her, but as someone who was genuinely trying to be a good father. 1 year after the fresh start, Lily asked if she could spend a whole weekend at her father's house. "Mommy, Daddy Mike said he can teach me how to make brigadeiro this weekend. Can I sleep over there?" Amanda hesitated. It was a big step, but Michael had consistently proven his reliability. "We'll see, Lily." She talked to Michael about the possibility. "Do you feel ready to take care of her by yourself for a whole weekend?" "I think so, but if you have any doubts, we can wait a little longer." "What if she wants to come home in the middle of the night? I'll call you and bring her here no matter what time it is." "What if she gets sick?" "I'll call you immediately, and we'll take her to the doctor together." Michael's answers showed he had thought of every possibility and was prepared for any situation. "All right, but I want you to text me every few hours, just so I know everything is okay." "Of course." The first weekend was a success. Michael sent pictures of Lily making brigadeiro, playing in the park, reading stories before bed. Lily came home on Sunday night, happy and excited. "Mommy, it was so much fun. Daddy Mike made pancakes for breakfast and taught me how to make orange juice by squeezing it by hand." "And did you behave well?" "Yep. And Daddy Mike behaved well too. He brushed my teeth, read 3 stories, and even sang the lullaby." Weekends at her father's house became regular. Lily divided her time between the 2 homes, but always with lots of love and care in both. 2 years after the reunion, Lily was preparing for another school presentation, this time about professions. She had chosen to talk about engineers, inspired by her father's work. "Mommy, can Daddy Mike come watch my presentation?" "Of course he can, sweetie." "And can you 2 sit together?" Amanda hesitated. They had developed a good co-parenting relationship, but always maintained a certain distance. Sitting together at a presentation could send mixed signals to Lily. "Why do you want us to sit together?" "Because then it feels like we're a real family." Lily's answer made Amanda reflect. They were a family, but a different kind of family. They weren't a couple, but they were co-parents who respected each other and worked together for their daughter's well-being. On the day of the presentation, Amanda and Michael sat side by side in the audience. Lily shone on stage, speaking confidently about engineers and how they build important things for people. "My daddy is an engineer," she told the audience. "He builds water systems so people can have clean water. He works hard to help people, and I'm very proud of him." Michael was visibly moved, discreetly wiping his eyes. Amanda felt a pang of pride, too, seeing how Lily spoke of her father with genuine admiration. After the presentation, Lily ran to them, beaming. "Did you see how well I did? I wasn't even a little bit nervous." "You were amazing, sweetie," Amanda said, hugging her daughter. "I'm very proud of you, Lily," Michael added. "Now can you take me to get ice cream?" "Both of you together." Amanda looked at Michael, who waited for her decision. "I think we can do that," she said. At the ice cream parlor, they talked like a functional family. Lily shared stories from school. Michael talked about interesting work projects. Amanda shared news about her job. It felt natural, comfortable, without any tension. "You know I have the best family in the world, right?" Lily said suddenly. "Why do you think that?" Amanda asked. "Because you both love me very much, and even though you don't live in the same house, you're friends and work together to take care of me." The wisdom of the 7-year-old surprised the adults. Lily had perfectly understood the dynamic of the family they had built. 3 years after the reunion, Lily was in her last year of preschool, getting ready to enter elementary school. It was a time of changes, and she expressed a wish that took Amanda by surprise. "Mommy, now that I'm going to a new school, I want my last name to be the same as Daddy's." "You want to use the Taylor last name?" "I want to use Reynolds Taylor, like him. That way everyone will know he's my real father." Amanda talked to Michael about Lily's request. "It's important for her to feel connected to you," Amanda said. "I think we should consider it. You don't mind her using my last name?" "Michael, you've proven over these 3 years that you're a dedicated father. Lily deserves to carry her father's name." The legal process for the name change was simple, since Michael had officially acknowledged paternity. Lily was overjoyed when she received her new documents. "Now I'm Lily Johnson Reynolds Taylor," she said, proudly reading the birth certificate. "I have Mommy's and Daddy's name." At the preschool graduation, Lily looked beautiful in her little white dress. Amanda and Michael sat together in the audience now naturally, without tension or awkwardness. "Thank you," Michael whispered to Amanda during the ceremony. "For what?" "For giving me a second chance, for letting me be her father. You earned that chance, Michael, with hard work, honesty, and dedication. I know I can't erase the first years I missed, but—" "You can't change the past," Amanda interrupted him, "but you're building a wonderful future with her." During the party after the graduation, Lily happily moved among the family members, proudly introducing "My Daddy Michael" to those who didn't know him yet. Mrs. Thompson, who was still the principal, approached Amanda. "You make such a beautiful family," she said. "Lily is a very happy and well-balanced child." "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. You know, I've followed many families over the years, and I can tell you've built something very special. It's not the traditional family, but it's a family full of love and respect." The principal's words echoed in Amanda's mind on the way home. They really had built something special. A redefined family based on respectful co-parenting, honesty, and above all, love for Lily. 5 years after the reunion, Lily was 10 years old and preparing for 5th grade. She had become a confident, intelligent, and emotionally balanced child. "Mommy, can I invite Daddy Mike to my 10th birthday?" she asked. "Of course, sweetheart. Do you want to have the party at our house or his?" "I want to have it here, but I want him to help organize it, both of you together." Amanda and Michael planned the birthday party together, buying decorations, organizing activities, preparing food. It felt natural to collaborate, without romantic tension, just 2 parents working together to make their daughter happy. On the day of the party, Lily blew out the candles with Amanda on one side and Michael on the other. "What did you wish for?" Michael asked. "I can't tell, or it won't come true." "But one part has already come true," Lily said, looking at both her parents by her side. Later, when the children were playing in the backyard and the adults were tidying up the house, Michael asked Amanda, Do you think we did the right thing, giving this second chance? Look at her, Michael, Amanda replied, pointing to Lily playing happily. She's happy, well-adjusted, confident. She has two fathers who love her, who work together for her well-being. How could that be wrong? Sometimes I think about the time I lost. Stop thinking about the lost time and focus on the time you're gaining. Lily doesn't remember the early years without you, but she will remember all the years you've been present. Have you truly forgiven me? The question took Amanda by surprise. She had asked herself that many times over the years. I've learned that forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened, Michael. It's about choosing not to let what happened control the future. I forgave you because it was necessary for Lily's sake, and for my own sake too. What about the two of us? Do you think one day— Michael, Amanda gently interrupted him, we've built something very precious as co-parents. Let's not risk that by trying to be something we're not anymore. You're right, sorry for asking. No need to apologize. It's natural to wonder about that. But our love story now is a story of love for Lily. And that's beautiful in its own way. Michael smiled, understanding perfectly what she meant. 7 years after the reunion, Lily was 12 years old and beginning her adolescence. With the natural changes of this phase, she sometimes tested limits with both parents. I want to spend the weekend at Daddy's house, she said on a Thursday, clearly trying to play one parent against the other because Amanda had denied a trip to the mall with friends. Lily, you know these decisions are made together by your parents, Amanda replied calmly. But Daddy lets me do more things. Let's call him and talk all together. It was a strategy Amanda and Michael had developed. Always discuss important decisions together, so Lily couldn't manipulate the situation. Michael arrived home an hour later for the conversation. Lily wants to go to the mall with friends on Saturday, Amanda explained. I said no because she's still not old enough to be without adult supervision at the mall. I agree with your mother, Michael said. But how about a compromise? You can go to the mall but with one of the friends' mothers supervising. That would be acceptable, Amanda agreed. Lily quickly learned that trying to play her parents against each other didn't work, because they always communicated and made decisions together. When Lily was 15, she started dating a boy from school named Ryan, who was polite and respectful. I want to introduce Ryan to you, she said during dinner at Amanda's house where Michael was also present. Family dinner had become a weekly tradition. Of course, sweetheart, Amanda said. How about he comes for dinner on Sunday? Will both of you be here? If you want, yes, Michael replied. I do. I want him to meet my complete family. Ryan proved to be a respectful and well-mannered boy. During dinner, Michael and Amanda asked appropriate questions about his studies, his plans for the future, his hobbies. Your parents are nice, Ryan said to Lily afterward. And it's cool how they get along, even though they're not married. They're my examples of how adults can solve problems by talking instead of fighting, Lily replied. When Lily turned 18, she was preparing for college entrance exams. She wanted to study psychology, inspired by her family experiences. I want to help other families reunite like you did, she said during her high school graduation party. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Amanda asked. I'm sure. I grew up seeing that families can come in different shapes, that people can change, that forgiveness is possible. I want to help other people discover this too. Michael was visibly emotional. I'm so proud of the woman you've become, Lily. I am who I am, because you two loved me enough to put my interests before your pride. On graduation day, Amanda and Michael sat side by side in the audience, as they had done on dozens of other occasions over the years. Now it felt natural, comfortable, a family tradition. We did it, Michael murmured as Lily received her diploma. Did what? Raised an amazing daughter, built a family that works, proved that people can change. The three of us did it, Amanda corrected. Lily also did her part, being understanding, forgiving, accepting our different family. After the ceremony, the three of them went out for a family dinner to celebrate. I have a confession to make, Lily said during dinner. What confession? Amanda asked, curious. When I was little, I used to wish you would get back together and get married. And now? Michael asked. Now I understand that you built something even more special. You showed that two people can have a relationship based on mutual respect and shared love for me, without necessarily being romantic. That's rare and beautiful. And you're okay with that? Amanda asked. I'm more than okay. I'm proud. How many families do you know where separated parents actually work together, respect each other, and always put their child's well-being first? It was true. Over the years, they had known many families torn apart by fights, resentments, and power struggles. Amanda and Michael had managed to create something different. Lily went to college for psychology and excelled academically. In her third year, she wrote a paper on redefined families, when forgiveness and co-parenting create bonds stronger than marriage, that was published in a student journal. I used our family as a case study, she told her parents, obviously without using real names. And what was your conclusion? Michael asked. That successful families are defined by love, respect, and communication, not necessarily by traditional structures. When Lily graduated with her psychology degree at 22, she was already in a serious relationship with Ryan, who had become an engineer like Michael. Daddy, can I talk to you about something? Lily asked during a lunch with just the two of them. Of course, sweetheart. I'm going to ask Ryan to marry me. Michael nearly choked on his drink. You're going to ask him to marry you? Why not? If I know I want to spend my life with him, why wait for him to take the initiative? And what does this have to do with me? I want your blessing. And Mommy's too, of course. Lily, you are an independent, grown woman. I know, but you are my parents and your opinion matters to me. Michael was moved by the request. You have my blessing, daughter. Ryan is a good man, and you truly love each other. And one more thing. When I get married, I want both of you to walk me down the aisle, together. Lily, I know it's not traditional, but our family was never traditional anyway. You both raised me. You both deserve to give me away to the man I've chosen. At Lily's wedding, Amanda and Michael walked together beside their daughter down the church aisle. Lily was radiant, Ryan was emotional, and the guests were moved by the unusual but touching scene of both parents giving their daughter away together. Take good care of each other, Michael said to Ryan and Lily at the altar. And always remember, that family is who shows up for the important moments, Amanda added. During the party, Lily gave a speech that surprised everyone. I want to thank everyone here today, but especially my parents, Amanda and Michael. They taught me that love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. That family isn't about never making mistakes, it's about having the courage to correct them. They showed me that two people can love a child deeply, even if they don't love each other romantically. And they taught me that forgiveness and second chances can create bonds stronger than the original ones. There wasn't a dry eye in the audience. 5 years after Lily's wedding, she and Ryan had a daughter, Emma. Amanda became a grandmother at 52. Michael became a grandfather at 54. Nana Amy and Papa Mike, Lily said at the hospital, introducing the baby to her parents. She's perfect, Amanda said, holding her granddaughter. Just like her mother was when she was born, Michael added. You're going to be the most present grandparents in the world, Lily said. Just like you were the most present parents. And now Emma will grow up seeing what a truly functional family looks like, Ryan added. Some years later, Lily opened her own family therapy clinic, specializing in helping separated parents build healthy co-parenting relationships. My greatest success as a therapist was being raised by you, she said during the clinic's opening, with Amanda and Michael by her side, cutting the ribbon. Now, at 60 years old, Amanda and 62, Michael, they meet regularly for family lunches, celebrations, and to care for their granddaughter. They are genuine friends, united by a history of rebuilding and the shared love for their daughter and granddaughter. Sometimes I wonder what our life would have been like if you hadn't run away that day, Amanda said during one of these family lunches. We'd probably be divorced and fighting about alimony, Michael replied. Maybe it was better this way. Do you really think so? I think everything happened the way it was supposed to. I needed to grow up. You needed to discover your strength. Lily needed mature parents. Daddy's right, Lily interjected. If you had stayed together back then, you probably would have separated traumatically later. This way, you built a solid foundation first. Emma, now 5 years old, looked up from the drawing she was making. "Nana, are you and Papa Mike boyfriend and girlfriend?" "No, sweetheart, we're very special friends," Amanda answered. "Friends who love Nana Lily very much?" Emma asked, using the language she knew. "That's right, Princess," Michael confirmed. "That's so cool. That way you never fight." Their granddaughter's innocence made everyone laugh. Emma had perfectly captured the family dynamic: love without drama, unity without romanticization. End of story. Now tell us what you thought of this story. Where are you watching from? If you've been through a similar situation in your family, leave us a comment with your sincere words. Do you believe Amanda made the right decision by giving Michael a second chance? We would love to read your opinion. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to leave your like and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other moving stories.